removed from these ultra-modern methods, aren't there simpler, less costly methods that are available to everyone?
The best two drugs we have today for aging are not drugs. The best two drugs we have are fasting and exercise. And so I use both of those. But I contend that these are the most primitive tools that we have.
My own secret, I fast once a week for 24 hours, and I exercise a lot.
I skip lunch, so generally I go 12 to 14 hours without eating.
I'm doing intermittent fasting, 16 hours at least every day.
I basically fast for the majority of the day and only eat my meals between a 6 and 8 hour window.
Walter Longo, who travels back and forth between Los Angeles and his native Italy, is a world expert on longevity.
My goal is to make everybody live to 110 healthy and then die very rapidly after that.
At first, Longo's hypothesis rested on the benefits of calorie restriction. Few people believed it, but real-life studies of Italian centenarians, along with years of lab tests, have proved him right. One of the most effective ways of activating longevity genes starts with nutrition. And the biggest impact comes in the most extreme form, fasting.
Do you remember your age?
A little over 100.
Isn't it 108?
No. 108 is too old.
For the past 15 years, Walter Longo has carried out study after study, and all the evidence points to the regenerative mechanisms of fasting.
Very clearly, in the laboratory studies, we see that there is shrinking of organs, shrinking of cells, and then re-expansion. And then it begins to turn on stem cells and begin to turn on the regeneration process, right? And it makes a lot of sense. It's actually a very simple concept, right? Because if I stop eating for 2 months, I will become maybe half of the size that I'm right now. And then if I start eating again, the body has to rebuild all of that, right? So health for me, it'd be brand new. So it's very difficult to compete with that, right? To say, I'm gonna come up with drugs that are gonna rebuild health of you.
But what is the impact of fasting on aging? Walter Longo subjected patients to 3 cycles of slightly adapted fasting, with a diet low in sugars and proteins.
We did a clinical trial with Walter Longo in which individuals were enrolled in this 5-day fasting mimicking diet, and they went through 3 cycles of this, and we tested their biological age at the beginning of the intervention and the end of the intervention. And what we found was that this had a reduction of about 2.5 years on average for participants, even though this only took place over about 5 months.
3 5-day fasts were enough to reduce biological age by 2.5 years. The proliferation of stem cells, the regeneration of the immune system, the elimination of senescent cells. The effects of fasting seem as effective as all the most sophisticated anti-aging methods.
And so that's exactly what we were hoping for, which is it wasn't about intervening on one aspect. It was really intervening on many different systems and making what appears to be many different systems younger.
It's just 3 times doing this 5-day fast. And we think that if people were to maintain this, doing this a few times a year, every year of their life, this would have a huge impact on their rate of biological aging over time.
And what if fasting also acted on cognitive decline? and notably Alzheimer's disease. Walter Longo has started clinical testing.
It would be difficult to find an intervention that causes more changes in the brain than fasting does. That's why we're very optimistic, very cautiously, but very optimistic that something will happen, right?